It's 7:30 on Monday morning, and we're just out taking a little walk before we get started with the day. Walking through the forest with Comet this morning. Where's he gone? Oh, there he goes. We're taking a slightly different route this morning, which is, it's nice, but it's uphill for a fair bit of the way, so I might be a little bit out of breath at the beginning of this video. I've got to go back home, or when we finish the walk and we get home, I've got some paperwork to do. I've got to pay some bills and go through some letters that have come in, all to do with work and sort of business, I suppose. I still feel strange saying business, because I've always, well, for the longest time, I've been doing construction and carpentry work. And a lot of times it's just me, but there has been times in the past when there might have been me and some other people working on the projects with me, for me, however you want to think about it. But I guess the background and the sort of culture I come from, saying things like running a business or having meetings, I don't know, there's like a discomfort that goes with it. Like you're trying to be a bit, flash or something like that, because the culture I come from, where I grew up, there wasn't many people, I don't know if I can think of any people that had businesses or would live that kind of managerial position sort of lifestyle. I mean, there was obviously people around, there was restaurants and cafes and bars and stuff, but even the people doing those types of businesses, even the people doing those types of businesses, they were very much just like us, and more often than not the businesses wouldn't last that long, but then the people running them would, you'd end up seeing them back working in the factories or just in other jobs where they were just part of the workforce, because they never really come from that culture where people were educated about business, not even educated about finance or money. And I feel like I've carried that with me all through my life. I've been very hard working. That is a good thing that comes from the culture and the environment I grew up in. Most people were quite hard working. There wasn't a lot of people that just weren't really sort of not motivated to work. It's very sort of working class environment. But for a lot of years now, because I've been working in construction and I've sort of moved away from working for a company a long time ago and just been trying to sort of do my own thing, and I have been doing that for many years, but because of the lack of education or skills that I've got, it's had like a limited success. It certainly had less success than I think it should have done, and it's really not because of the skills or the ability that I have with the work that I do, because I've done it for so long, and I've been sort of passionate and motivated to be good at it, that I've developed a lot of skills over the years, that the work that I do now, and I say this without any kind of ego or arrogance, but the work I do is of a good standard. And that's not because of anything special about me, it's just that I've just done so much of it. It's just literally a volume and repetition thing, where you get good at the thing you just keep doing over and over. So that's really what's happened there. But opposite to that, in terms of the finances and the money, I've just kind of, for more than 20 years now, I've just kind of scraped by with that stuff. I've been very unorganised. I've never taken any bookkeeping lessons or courses, and I haven't really put the time in or any effort into learning that stuff or getting better at it. So lo and behold, over 20 years later, I'm still kind of tragic and a bit of a disaster in that area. And it's really just kind of getting to like a crisis point really for me, in the sense that I've always lived that kind of like, you earn money one week, you pay some bills, you get back out Monday, trying to earn some more money so you can pay some bills at the end of the week. And then on occasion when I'm around people that are a bit more financially intelligent or educated, and they have structure and they're organised, it just seems like a beautiful thing to me. But in that moment, I'm equally frustrated with myself, because I've got like I'm not a lifetime, but you know, at the age I'm at now, I've got a lot of years of work behind me, and I haven't really capitalised or taken advantage of that to put myself into a better position at this stage in life. And what I mean by that is, I mean, that could be something as simple as putting away like 10 or 20%, I mean even 5% of all of the money you earn into like a savings or an investment account. And when I think about that, like over the years, it's always been a situation that I'd earn money. I'd earn money each week or each month, and then you'd have bills to pay, and then you'd pay them, and there'd be zero left. But the truth is, I would still go out, socialise, you know, you buy new clothes or whatever you did, and there would have probably always been the opportunity to come this way. There would have always been the opportunity to save at least 5%, I'm sure. And it might have meant that I would have had to... Oh, there's a bit of a deep puddle there. Good job. Come here. Come here. Over the years, it might have meant that I'd had to go without something. You know, like maybe I'd have to go without a takeaway, or I don't know, go and see a movie or something like that. But had I have done that and just like skimmed out that 5% every time I had money coming in, put it in somewhere, after, you know, 20, 25 years, it would have accumulated to a reasonable amount of money to give me a bit of financial security and stability in the background. And as I say, I haven't done that, and I don't have that. And over time, this is what I've learned really as I've got older, that over time, very small things can grow into something much bigger if you're just consistent and you stick with it. So now I'm just trying to get into a bit of a crash course of trying to improve this situation with my sort of financial structure and intelligence. And I say this, but even as recent as, let's say, a couple of weeks ago, when money came in, I still didn't do that same thing of taking out 5% or any amount and putting it somewhere. So I just keep talking about this stuff, and even I keep talking to people about it, but I also keep running it through my own head. But I still don't do it. You know, I'm like that person that has been saying for 20 years, I'm going to go to the gym and get fit. And 20 years later, still haven't been once. I'm a bit like that when it comes to money and stuff. So this morning, I've got to go back, go through some deals, get organised with the paperwork for this business and the work I do. But I'm also going to start putting a bit of time into getting that structure sort of solidified and becoming part of like daily life. It definitely is. I've got a massive benefit at the moment in the fact that my friend, who's also my accountant, is also he's not a financial advisor, or he doesn't really operate in this kind of way, but he's an accountant and a bookkeeper, and he's a good friend of mine. So he said he's going to help me to improve these things and become a better business owner, if that's the term for it, and just help me get more organised and more structure with my financial side of life. But I imagine it's the same for a lot of us, that sometimes these things, especially when it comes to money, they hit really hard and they're real stressful. And even if it's something that is in the back and like myself, sometimes I think, I'm not really that stressed about it. It all seems pretty cool. It's still just there under the surface, and I think it just eats away at you, and it does have an effect over time, and it is stressful. So I don't really have any guidance or advice other than to say maybe do the opposite to what I've done. That'd probably be about the best advice I could give you. But I am hoping to improve this situation massively in a very short period of time over the coming weeks and months. So yeah, I just was thinking about that this morning when we was out walking. I woke up this morning after having a really nice weekend, getting some work done on the house and feeling really productive. And I just woke up with that immediate feeling of, now that I've done some work over the weekend, I've got to get focused on sorting out my sort of financial structure. So it's a bit of like I feel like someone's tipped a cold bucket of water over my head this morning on a Monday morning and sort of kicked me into gear, and I've just got to go home and get organised and get this stuff done. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. It's Monday morning. We're just out having a little walk for an hour, and then we're going to go home and get into some paperwork, and then head off to work, back to the loft conversion project today. Carrying on there, we've got the beams turning up, the big timber beams to go up into the ridge, so should be quite a productive day. Busy start to the week.